In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply a binomial squared. Now, I did my last example in a previous video, and I'm going to just kind of repeat that format here so that it's in both videos. And what I'm going to stress is that when you see a square, it is so important to write out your factor 2 times. Meaning, I want to see, for my kids in my class, I want to see an x minus 7 times an x minus 7. And if you don't write it out twice, you're more likely to miss a couple terms when you multiply your binomials together. So again, x minus 7 times x minus 7, we're going to take this first term times every term in the other factor. So an x times an x, that's our first term. And an x times a negative 7. And then my next term here. So I'm done with this term because I multiplied everything here, but now this term I need to multiply here by both. So negative 7 times x, and then negative 7 times negative 7. So we're going to multiply first before we subtract or add what we have. X times x is x squared. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. The other negative 7 times x, and then negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. We are going to combine any like terms that we have. Negative 7 minus 7 would be, for my middle term, a negative 14x. And so our expression here, x squared minus 14x plus 49. I would stress that it would be important that you leave your final answer in what's called standard form, where your variables go with highest power to the next highest power and then down and down until you have your number term last with no letters. Now the same problem but written as a box method. My first polynomial here is a binomial, so x and minus 7. So I have two terms there, so I'm going to make a box with 2 columns. And my other binomial, I'm going to write vertical, and there were also 2 terms, and a 2 by 2 should make 4. And so that's where we see these 4 terms show up. I'll show you it's the same no matter which method you pick. X times x is x squared. X times negative 7 is negative 7x. X times negative 7, also negative 7x. And negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. So if we combine any terms that are alike, we'll have same answer, x squared minus 14x, because these two added together, negative 7 plus negative 7, negative 14x, and then plus 49. Okay, here's another one. I'm just going to make the binomial just a tad more challenging. So again, it is so important that you write out your factor twice. I don't want you to miss what's important. So we have a 3x minus 6 times 3x minus 6. So we're going to take our first term times every term in the other polynomial. So 3x times 3x. That's going to get us 9x squared. 3x times the other term, negative 6, is going to get us a negative 18x, because 3 times negative 6. Now I'm done with this term because I multiplied everything from this binomial, so now I move on to the next term. Negative 6 times 3x here is also going to get me negative 18x. And negative 6 times negative 6, I should say plus, forgot my negative sign here. Negative 6 times negative 6, which is going to be a negative times a negative, a positive 36. And then if you can combine any terms, make sure that you do that. These two are alike because they have the same letter that have the same power. And we'll have 9x squared minus 36x plus 36. We have, let's see, we have one more, and I want to show you how to write this one out. So this one is just slightly different than the ones that we've done before. There's a 4 out front there. And so what this will look like, again, you want to write out twice your factor. That's what a square means. It means you have 2 of them. It means we have negative 4, and then our x plus 8, and our x plus 8. So again, write it out twice. So, oh look, I forgot that box method. You know, I'll go back and do the box method for both of these after. So here, I'm gonna leave this -4 alone for a minute. I'm gonna pretend it's not there, and I'm gonna start by just doing the foiling that we have. So I'm gonna just start with this first. So I'm gonna leave -4 out of my situation here for a minute. And x times an x gets me x squared. X times 8. X times 8 is 8x. And now here, 8 times x is 8x. And 8 times 8 is 64. So notice how your first term gets multiplied by everything in the other binomial, and then your next term gets multiplied by everything in your other polynomial, and then you just combine your terms together. So we have -4 here. I notice that there are two that I can combine because they have a like term. X squared plus 16x plus 64. And now that I have finished my binomial, now I'm going to multiply through that -4. So -4 times x squared, -4 times 16, you might need a calculator for that, that's -64, and -4 times 64, I've been practicing these problems, so I know this one already, is -256, but again, you might want a calculator for that. Now, if you don't like the claw method, you could absolutely do the box method. Again, I showed one up here earlier, but let me show you the box method here. So if we have one of our factors is a 3x and a -6, we want two columns because there's two terms there. It just so happens the other one is the same, so again, a 3x and a -6, so we want two rows. So two terms times two terms. 2 times 2 means 4, so we have, here's our box of 4. 3 times 3 makes 9. X times x is x squared. -6 times 3x is -18x. This 3x times this -6 is also -18x. And -6 times -6 is +36. So if you can combine any terms, make sure you do that. We have 9x squared minus 36x plus 36. Same answer, just a different way. And then the very last one, again, I'll show you here. If this is our two binomials, you could do this. You could take -4 times your x plus 8. You could either leave it out or you could multiply it in. It's up to you. Since I left it out here, I'm going to show you how to leave it out of your box. So we're going to have -4 times what comes out of our box. Now in my box, I'm going to make just like I made before, my x plus 8. There's two terms there. And then another x and an 8. My x times x is x squared. X times 8 is 8x. X times 8 is also 8x. And 8 times 8 is 64. But I haven't taken into account that -4 yet. So my x squared. This is a terrible looking 8. I'm going to make that look so much nicer for us. 8 plus 8 is 16. And then we have a 64. That was 16x. And then plus 64. And now multiply everything by -4. You're going to see you're going to get the same answer. -4x squared minus 64x and minus 256. So same answer. I know this video is getting long, but we have one more of these on the next page. So I want to show you our last one. And it is a monomial, one term, times a trinomial. And so what we're going to do is multiply our 6x cubed times everything in that set of parentheses. So the claw is only one layer instead of two. So that's why it kind of looks like a claw, like rah, you know. All right, 6 times 6 is going to get you 36. X cubed times x squared is how we get 36x to the 5th, because we're going to add those powers together. And then 6 times 53. Oh, wow. For sure I need a calculator for that one. Okay, 6 times 53 is 318. And then we have an x cubed times an x. Now add those powers together. You have 1 here and 3 here, which is 318x to the 4th, plus 6 times 40, so 240. I don't know if you can see that there as well. 240. And x cubed, I'm not multiplying anymore, so 240 x cubed. And there's your answer here. Now, you know, you may be thinking, well, is it going to look the same for my box? Yeah, sure. Okay, so your first polynomial is actually just one term. You just have a 6x cubed, so just one column. Your other polynomial is a trinomial, so we're going to have three terms, a 6x squared, and a 53x, and a 40. So I'm going to have 3 rows and 1 column. So again, the same exact thing, 6 times 6, 36x to the 5th. 6 times 53, I already did that over here. I'm going to cheat and use that. X times x to the first power, x cubed times x would give you 4 total, because 3 here times 1 more. And 6 times 40 is 240, x cubed, and I'm not multiplying any more in. So those are the 3 terms that match what we had before. And again, standard form. Standard form is how we want to leave our answer, with our powers in the highest to lowest on the letter that you're using. So notice how the powers go 5, 4, 3, and then if you had them 2, then 1, then none. And so this would be standard form for your answer. Stay tuned, I have one more video for applications for multiplying polynomials.